I recently made a homebrew Space Marine chapter based on crabs. I don't have a lot of them fleshed out, but what I have been doing is painting some models, which is probably my favorite part of the hobby. What I haven't done, and what I've never done for any mini, is make a paint recipe for it. So I figured I'd sit down in this video and paint one of my Marines and document the recipe. The first step is base coating all of the armor. I usually do the purple first since there's more purple than red on the Marine. I base coat the legs, the chest, and the helmet with this dark purple. I've noticed that in a lot of my recent paint schemes I've used purple. Not this purple, but just purple in general. I think the last 3 or 4 projects I've worked on have all had purple. I think it's just one of my favorite colors to paint. And speaking of one of my favorite colors to paint, I used to be a Blood Angels player and, well, not player, but painter. And red is incredibly fun to paint. As well as being incredibly thematic for my space crabs. I'm not calling them that. That is definitely not the name of them, but completely thematic. I mean, whenever you think of crab, I think you think of red. And I base coat the arms and the power pack backpack with it. My Marines are obsessed with strength, and so I wanted to accentuate that in the color scheme by painting their arms a different color, as well as painting their backpack a different color, because it's like a crab shell. And also it's good for making the head pop out a little more, since it's not on a like purple on purple background. And now this Marine is really starting to look like one of the sons of Crustacea, the homeworld. A lot of painters prefer to base coat everything and then do a highlight on everything and so on and so forth, but I really prefer to get one thing completely done and then move on to the next thing. So the first thing I do is start highlighting up the purple by mixing it in a 2-to-1 ratio of white and the purple, and then for the second highlight I go ahead and mix in 1-to-1 ratio. And with this mixture, I make sure to get everywhere I think the light would catch the armor. I then go in with my 1-to-1 mixture and do littler highlights where I highlighted before to give it that shine. I also use the 1-to-1 mixture to highlight the most important edges, and then to bring it all back down to a dark purple, so it all reads as dark purple. I go in and I mix my original purple color with a water to a glaze consistency, and then I glaze it over all of the armor pieces, except for a little bit on the head, because I want to draw attention there, and I want that to be the brightest focal point of the model. Time to do the exact same thing for the red. But red is a little bit tricky to paint, because if you just mix it with white, you're going to end up having pink looking armor. You can tint it back to red using the same glazing method I did with the purple, but what I prefer to do is I highlight it with orange, and then I even highlight up to yellow. So I went in with a mixture of 3-to-1 yellow to red, and highlighted all of the red armor. Then going back in and doing a little bit of the pure yellow highlights. I then go back to all the areas I want to kind of calm down, because I really don't want the armor to read as, like, I guess orange. So I go back with a glazed red and go over all the areas that I think are a little bit too bright. This is about the stage where I start getting excited. Things are starting to get finished, and the Marine's starting to look pretty good. But you know what's going to make them look even better? Getting that bling on there. I haven't done non-metallic metal very much, but from what I have done, it's pretty fun and it looks pretty good. So the first thing I do is load up some brown on my palette and some black, mixing it together to get this dark brown that I can use as my base for all of the gold bits. I go back in with the unmixed brown to begin the metallic highlights, putting little stripes on the shoulder pad trim and covering the tips of the wings on the chest imperialis. I basically do the same steps in tinier and tinier fashion on the model with the base yellow, and then mixing that yellow 1-to-1 with white to do the final highlights as well as edge highlight everything to make everything really come together and look shiny and like actual gold instead of just a bunch of brown and yellow. I decided then to actually go in with pure white and do tiny highlights to make the gold look super shiny. And while I had the yellow out, I figured I might as well get their lenses, so I base coated them with yellow and then made an orange wash and washed them out to give them a little tinge of orange glow there. Last thing to do are the arms of the Emperor, this Marine's flamer. I paint my guns for my Marines yellow, but the first step is actually to put one of my favorite colors on here, which is this Stonewall Gray that I put all over the flamer and base coat everything to make the outcome a little bit more bright. I can put the yellow on there a little bit more effectively. It'll become a little brighter, pop out more, as well as whenever I put the metallics over everything that's going to be silver, those are also going to pop out a little bit more than they would if I put it just over the black primer. After I'm done slathering that beautiful gray all over the gun, I go in with the yellow and I pick out all of the parts that are like kind of the shell of the gun. Then I go back in with a watered down orange and shade all the gun. This orange makes the yellow keep its saturation while also differentiating it from the gold. Finally, for the yellow bits, I went in with a 1-to-1 ratio of white and yellow and highlighted everything, bringing it back up to yellow. Then I go in with my true metallic silver paint and I get all of the rest of the gray parts. I mix it 1-to-1 with white and then do highlights on all of the silver bits. Now, on the front of the flamer, a lot of people do cool fades, and I tried one with the first Flamer Marine that I painted, and I wasn't super happy with how it came out, so this time I just watered down some red and some purple, the ones that were already on my palette used for the armor colors, and I just glazed it over the back and front of the front metal piece, leaving a little bit in the middle to keep that like blue tinted metal, I guess, color. And now that that's done, all that's left is to do a little bit of finishing touches, just going over the entire model and making sure everything's clean, nice, pristine, worthy of the Emperor, as well as picking out things that I missed, like this purity seal. And in the end, this is the Marine that I came out with, and I'm extremely happy with it. There are a few things that I think I could have cleaned up a little bit more. I'm still not happy with the front of the weapon. I don't really know what to do with that yet, but, you know, I have tons more models to experiment with. The whole Space Marine side of Leviathan I have to paint up, and I don't have any games to play, so I'm in no rush. Another thing I think I could work on is the non-metallic metal. This isn't really my cleanest execution of it, and I think I have a lot more to learn whenever it comes to painting it. I think the Aquila could have used, or not the Aquila, but the Imperialis could have used a lot more work. It ended up, you know, good. It looks good from tabletop view, but I think I could really improve in that area. It's my Marine, and I'm very happy with it. If you see something else that you think I could work on, something that you think could make my Marines really pop out, stand out, and from the crowd, I'd be happy to hear it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, or you want to learn more about my crab Marines, my Sons of Brachyura, my Brack Bearers, my beautiful void crustaceans, I'd be happy to oblige and try to flesh out their lore, because I've been having fun trying to, but can't really seem to get anything concrete down. I have thought about the crab in a bucket mentality to kind of mean that they are very competitive towards each other. Like, they're not going to like mess each other up while they're in a huge battle, like completely jeopardizing everything. But I like to think that they're competitive with one another. Like, I'll cleanse 100 heretics before you will, and they're like, nah, fucking up, bruh. I'm gonna fuck you. or like maybe fighting is super integral to their culture. Like they have tournaments in their home world all the time. They're always scrapping, fighting, but that's all for another video. For now, I hope you enjoyed seeing the color scheme at work, and hopefully my paint scheme did it justice. I can't say it hasn't been fun. See ya. Also, quick special thanks to my cat Stella for sticking with me through it to the end. She's been here pretty much the entire time I was painting, and most of the time I've been editing as well, so she's been a big help in this whole process. Stella for president. Stella for inquisitor.